Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here. You, all of you. It's fantastic to see you. It's like we're down the pub and we're sitting with a few pints and we're talking about our favourite movies and TV shows and what we love and don't love about them. Today is D-Day for Aquaman, because later on today, when America rises from its slumber, the social media ban is lifted on talking about Aquaman. They can't do their reviews yet. They can't post their reviews, but the embargo will be lifted for Aquaman. First of all, I want to say straight off the bat, I've seen the film. I love the film. I've told you what a fabulous film this is from my point of view. But we know there's agendas out there from critical media. What will the pundits and the critics say? Once the embargo is lifted, in the morning over in the States, very, very interesting. Surely they can't slaughter the special effects like they did in Justice League, because effects-wise, this film is beyond reproach. But we don't know what they're going to say. And this is the interesting thing. And isn't it really funny? Well, not funny, but the nerves we have about this. Every time an embargo is lifted for pundits to talk about a DCEU movie on the internet, we're worried. We don't know what they're going to say. I remember with Wonder Woman not knowing what they were going to say. And I remember one pundit going, "It's all right, everyone. Wonder Woman is fantastic." And it's like, the reason that person said it's all right, because they knew how nervous we are. What we've had to put up with from pundits is outrageous, especially in terms of Man of Steel and BVS. For me, absolutely two of the best comic book movies I have ever seen. Now, I understand the mainstream not embracing Batman v Superman. It was a very indie type superhero film. But for the pundits to respond how they responded, for me, was very disingenuous and not genuine and logical at all. So we do not know what they're going to say about Aquaman. If it's positive, this is a massive step forward, because in the first film that Walter Hamada is controller of DC Films, for it to be positive will be very special. We know that as soon as he took over, the way Zack Snyder wanted Aquaman to be went out the window. Now, they were in the middle of filming this, but they still could have made relevant changes while they were shooting. And we know the special relationship between Walter Hamada and between James Wan. So they're a team that have worked together before. That only helps the situation. Expect James Wan to get more DC films. There's no question about that. I feel the reaction will be positive, but I don't know. As I say, there are so many different agendas out there. It's unbelievable. And let's not forget, every pundit and every critic slaughtered Venom, and it's made over 800 million. These pundits were saying it will be lucky to make 5 or 6. This is why you can't believe them. You can't believe them. And when they were predicting the box office like they always do, they got it totally wrong. Totally wrong. Look at the box office. It's fabulous. Look at the fan appreciation of that film. Not because it's a masterpiece, because it has something many films from Hollywood don't have today. Entertainment value. And that's what we want. It was an amazing film, an amazing form of entertainment, and that's what Aquaman is as well. So I'm calling this D-Day for Aquaman. It's a massive day, not just for Aquaman, but DC Films, the DCEU, the worlds of DC. It is so important that this film gets a thumbs up, and I don't know what's going to happen. I can just tell you I've seen this film, and I loved it. I can't really tell you what people are going to say. I keep on going back to this agenda, but there is an agenda. Someone like Grace Randolph, we know that someone like her, you cannot trust what she's going to say. She didn't really like Man of Steel. She loved BVS, then hated Suicide Squad. Now, there's no consistency there, because any honest reviewer would have said that Suicide Squad isn't one of the best CBMs ever made. But it did what it was supposed to do. And it did. And the box office supports that, just under 800 million. fans coming out saying they enjoyed it mostly. Yeah, some people said it was a mess. I don't think it was a mess. The Suicide Squad universe is messy. It's a bit like a child who doesn't tuck his shirt in. Superman has died, and now the responsibility of protecting the world is down to a bunch of criminals. Of course that's going to be messy. I loved the opening in the film when Waller walks down and walks in and she goes, Superman changed the world when he flew across the sky. He changed it again when he didn't. But beautiful. That's beautiful continuity from Batman v Superman leading to Suicide Squad. The way she talks and introduces the characters and you see what they've done. You see Batman catch a couple of them. You see the Flash catch Boomerang? Or whatever his name is, right? They're amazing moments. And, this is what a franchise should be doing. So again, I don't know what the pundits didn't like. And this is why I keep on talking about this agenda. So whatever you hear from them, positive, negative or indifferent, you go and watch this film. Make your minds up. If you're a DC fan, if you're a fan of these films, don't not watch it because of Justice League and what happened to Zack. Don't do that. Zack doesn't want you to boycott this film. Go and support this film. Give it big box office. Show Warner Brothers we're supporting this franchise. And maybe they'll give us a gift. I spoke yesterday about what I've heard about maybe the Snyder Cut being shown on DC Universe once that streaming service goes international. How do we know if what sources are telling us are true or not? We don't. That's the truth. But I'm, as I said, I'm a glass half full guy. I want to see the Snyder Cut. I want to see Zack's definitive vision of Justice League. Not some dumbed down stuff like we did with the theatrical release. As I say, when I first saw it, I was devastated and depressed. But as time went on, I kind of enjoyed the theatrical cut. But we can't pretend it's a perfect storm. It's nothing like that at all. It's nothing what it should have been. And really, a lot of the film is bloody embarrassing, especially the CG on Henry's lip. I'll never forget that. If they got that CG right, I don't think I would have many issues with the film. I mean, it's not just that. It's the fake CG backgrounds that Whedon put in. When they're on the farm, that's also fake. Why did they do the reshoots? Why did they take Zack off the picture? If you wanted to sack him, you should have just waited until his Justice League was released. Then he could have gone. His arc was kind of finished. I know there was a plan for 5 movies altogether. But hey, do things properly. Don't throw someone off a project on the 11th hour and expect it to be any good or for it to be a good response. That tainted what the DCEU did before Justice League. It taints Man of Steel. It taints Batman v Superman. Because now you've got this stupid gif of Henry with that stupid grin. And this is why a lot of people think that Henry won't be back as Superman because his Superman is tainted. And that's a shame. But I will be honest, Aquaman wasn't tainted in Justice League. He looked amazing. He did amazing. He was funny. I understood his motivation when he's talking to Mira underwater. I didn't care about the water bubbles like some people did. It was a weird thing to do. But at the end of the day, Joss Whedon wasn't really in the zone. He didn't really know what he was doing. Because the poor guy was thrown in at the 11th hour under time constraints and budgetary constraints. Could you do any better? So this is not down to Joss Whedon. So I feel because there were some people who liked Justice League and enjoyed Aquaman's part in it will, zoom to go and see the Aquaman film. And you should go and see the Aquaman film because it's absolutely fantastic. And there are some shocks in there. There's some great Easter eggs in there as well. And obviously the narrative of, Orm wanting revenge for what the surface world have done to the ocean for all these years is a wonderful story. And I think he's definitely another General Zod and you're really going to enjoy Orm. But you're going to enjoy everything about this film because I think it works. Now, what we look for in a movie and what pundits look for in a movie are two very different things. I mean, Grace Randolph can mark down a film for someone's hair or if she doesn't like the wig what they're wearing. It's absolutely ridiculous. That woman knows nothing about films. I'm sorry, she doesn't. Because the way she talks is nonsensical. Nonsensical. That's a really long word. And it's not even 7. Well, it's about 7 a.m. here in Cyprus. But anyway, It's about holding our breaths and seeing what's going to happen. But, yep, later on today, we will find out what pundits and critics think of Aquaman as the embargo is lifted for social media. And if you've seen this film, I think there's actually a proper premiere at some place, a proper, glitzy thing. So, or was it last night? I think it was last night, actually. And here we are, guys. We're jam-packed with lots of films coming out around the same time as Aquaman. So the media response to the film is so important. It absolutely is D-Day for Aquaman. I'm going now.